everyone, welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is the full moon reading in the archetype of Taurus for November the 4th, 2017. Well, 4th stroke 5th. Thank you for those that have subscribed after my last video. It's been a while since I've been on here, so it's just about getting back up and running and getting the videos back out there. Even saying that though, I just asked your angels cards about it, and it was saying let go, so maybe just need to let go. It might come in a different form, or I might need to do something different, as I have been approached by somebody else and how to do it differently. So anyway, what I needed to say was I was asked about the cards. I do put all the cards I use and who they're by at the end of the reading, at the end, the credits. But yes, I did forget to put this one that I used last time, which is the Colette Baron Reed Wisdom of the Oracle, which I might be using here, there and everywhere. So just to confirm that. Right, let's have a look then. I can't remember too much of the last one, but it was the Libra energy, and it was like I think the romance angel card was the separation, so around that new moon, which this full moon would be posted on. Maybe for some it might be that way, but it's all about rewiring and reshaping and re-looking at, you know, the dynamics of the relationship. And I thought because of that, I'm going to ask Spirit to give us some advice through this book. I usually use the cards and read it intuitively rather than what's said too much in there, because it doesn't all fit with me. So I take a little bit of each and come up with my own sort of medicine. But yeah, I sense to do that. But yeah, it's all about the Libra, the balancing, and you know, if your relationships are out of harmony, then the energy will work for you around that new moon to plant new seeds and do it differently. You know, that's what rewiring is, doing differently to what you did in the past. And hence, you know, the past is to learn from, so that you don't do it again, you don't make the same mistakes again. That's all it is. It's not about punishment. It's just about, you know, educating yourself, and knowledge, which the Taurian energy is all about. It's very much about education and knowledge. And, you know, this is Earth School, and we are here to learn, and our souls, you know, sign up for certain agreements to learn certain lessons. And I know for sure, I know without a doubt, one of mine, or the most important one of mine, is patience. I know that because, and probably why I was born, you know, with the Capricorn archetype as the sun sign, ruler Saturn, because it's all about time and patience. And, you know, I keep a journal, and I can see when things have happened and that my wounded inner girl has come out, because it's around timing and a situation that, you know, I recognised happened a couple of times, and somebody was late, they didn't keep their word, and it brought up so much anxiety for me, or the wounded little girl, you know. So it's about recognising those things and what triggers you. And, you know, because mine was to do with a father figure, but the earthly father, due to abandonment, not once, twice, and in many different ways. So, you know, that will then come into your relationships, and, you know, you've got to heal that. And what was I going to say? Because this energy is, so things might have been shaken up because it's like chaotic. I think the you know, chaos and conflict was the Colette Baron Reid card at the end, which for some it was about, you know, dealing with things, and then once it's out in the open, of course, it would feel like that. But it's about reordering, and for some it might be separation, but for others it might just be about going deeper and being honest and clearing that yuck out, and, you know, coming back to where you were in the beginning. But this energy on this full moon is like the Taurian energy. It's about stability, you know, it's earthy, it's groundedness. It's the Taurian archetype wants like safety and security, and that's its value. Typical, isn't it, when you start reading, things come through the post, but there you go. And it can be, because it's mainly about knowledge and education, so maybe around this full moon, because full moons are about something coming to completion, something coming to, it's something that needs to be released, and you know, it's built up, and then it comes to the full moon, and it's about ending of a cycle, ready for that new moon again to come in later. So maybe for some around this full moon, it's about educating yourself, getting some knowledge, you know, maybe about reading books, or whatever it is that suits you, you know, that you're guided to do. So but it can come under, you know, like conforming and traditionalists. So, and for some it maybe around that full moon, it's about being more traditional and maybe following that route. You know, for others, like if it was in the tarot card and it's reversed, that might be like, don't follow it, because that's just taking you down the wrong path. But yeah, very much about, it can come under the counselor card as well, because it's like find a spiritual leader or a guru or a mediator. So hence the counselling or good advice, you know. So maybe around this full moon, that there may be a strong person, maybe masculine, but it can be feminine too, that might be some sort of guru or advisor to you that steps in, because I think there was the Six of Coins, which was about the benefactor. There's some sort of benefactor around that new moon, so it could be carrying on from there. But yeah, very much about counselling, and you can get that in many different shapes and forms to get advice or whatever, you know, the traditional therapy, therapists, psychologists, etc. Or there's many different ways of looking into your hurts, I suppose, is what they're saying. But it is definitely around stability and grounding something, that Taurian energy. So let's, I brought the elephant in because it's the rose quartz is for this card, so it draws the energy in. But the elephant is very much about loyalty and you know, steadfastness. They have the same emotions as we do. In fact, probably that they don't fear showing them. They express them. They literally do cry. And the stories that I've heard, oh my God, just break my heart. And I know the elephant is one of my totems, so we'll keep them there because it's about family. And I think there is a lot, you know, I'm seeing myself, I'm sure you are too, that Sagittarius, that Saturn energy in Sagittarius, which is all about truth seekers, you know, and no coincidence, it's been in there for the last 2.5 years. It's coming to its closure now in December, but it came out of Scorpio, which was all about that dark, murky waters and shit that needs to be cleared out and things that have been hidden. And there you go. Look at that. I mean, Saturn in Sag brought to the light all these things that have been hidden, you know, like in our country, it was the paedophile, it was, you know, the Jimmy Savile situation, and now in Hollywood it's coming out with other situations. And, you know, you can see what astrology is such a beautiful tool. I'm not an astrologer, but I tend to read it more archetypal. as in, you know, tune into that via the tarot cards. And it just touches my heart that it's that powerful, and it work, the synchronicity of it and the timing of it, because Saturn is about time. And when it happens, and there you go, and then it's going to go into Capricorn, but all this stuff has come up during that time. There's no coincidence. So absolutely amazing. But if it hurts, it isn't love. And this is by Chuck Spasano. I use the self-awareness cards with that, like I said earlier. But I'm just going to ask Spirit, what is the most important message that we need to know around this full moon time to do with love lives or relationships? You know, it's for both. Most important message. Okay. Mastery in a relationship is a willingness to be innocent with those I love. Our innocence is one of the greatest gifts we can give to the world. To achieve innocence is to achieve mastery, because we do not have to go anywhere. It always happens where we are, in the here and now, which is, you know, many books out there, many people, and I believe it too, is your only power is in the here and now. You know, if you're worrying, and I know I feel it, and then my stomach churns, I know I'm in the future and I'm just full of anxiety. And if you're depressed and low, you know, you're too focused on the past. So we have to do acts of meditation, or walking in nature, or whatever it is that is for you, that gets you into the here and now, and that does take practice. Innocence means no longer having to punish ourselves or prove ourselves, and I really do think it is about that, you know, because I'm seeing it myself, that I think I mentioned it in the last video, that, you know, even when the universe gives you the gift of maybe the relationship that you want, that you've desired, you know, the self-sabotage comes up, and it's so heartbreaking, because I've seen it myself, you know, that people get what they want, and then there you go, they start to sabotage because of the past, and then that causes problems. So yeah, no longer having to punish ourselves or prove ourselves. You know, it's about being comfortable in your own skin, and not thinking that you have to change for anyone else. You know, if that person doesn't like you for who you are, that person's not right for you, and that's it. Move on. You know, proving takes lots of time and does not really work, because it is a compensation for a negative belief, which is true about oneself. Once we know our innocence, we have freedom from the vicious cycle of pain and compensation. We allow ourselves to receive and invite the world into our heart. Through our innocence, our partner becomes a source of healing, wonder and enjoyment. Exactly. Innocence allows us to give the best gifts of life by our being. Innocence is fun and playful. Most of all, it is the very truth about us. As we are willing to live this truth, we create a power that is a source of healing for the world. It does go on to say what exercise to do, but it wasn't about that. I just want to see how it might fit into this reading today. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards want to say. I've sat in a different position today because I noticed that the light wasn't very good on that one, so hopefully it's a bit lighter with this one. Let's see. Oh, and there we go, we've got the shadow come up. So very much about, you know, it's in the books, isn't it? They're all about shadow work. But all that means really is, like I was just saying there, it's part of ourselves that have been wounded, or you know, taken on a perception as a child, and then that stayed with us. So here we've got, I think it's one of the TV programs. They produced a Be Kindness pack that goes into the schools, which is getting into the schools over here. And it is because at the end of the day, we don't know what word we say or how we say something, how that's going to wound somebody. Not that we're responsible for that in that sense, but I suppose it is being more mindful of how you say something, still speaking your truth, but how you say it. But this is the Devil card in the normal tarot. So this is about this is all about materialism, you see, and maybe coming too much from the material world. And maybe around this full moon, it's about to find that stability. It's about, you know, finding that spiritual representation of you know, what you believe in. And because this is all about, it comes like under addictions, and it's also about somebody having power over you, because these two children are frightened here because, you know, this character at the back, they feel has power over them, and they don't. So it could be that, you know, are you giving your power away to somebody in a relationship, and you know, they don't really have that power over you, like you're chained to it, because it's the Devil card, you know, it's the Capricorn card, so again Saturn. But yeah, so look to where, what's that song, Being in Chains and You Can Free Yourself? I think I've said it before. So yeah, be aware where you might be giving your power away in a relationship. Oh, definitely, because we've got the Three of Swords here as well. So there's definitely some shadow stuff coming up, like I said earlier. And this is all about betrayal, hurt, abandonment, rejection, you know, real pain. And yes, there's Three Swords there, so the betrayal can be that there's three people in this situation that's having an effect on the situation. So it can be the actual three people, but you know, it's not always people that are alive. It can be like somebody that's lost somebody due to a passing, and then, you know, started to date again after a long time, but they've still got that energy from the past. They still haven't worked through that stuff, and that then is going to be brought into the relationship and cause pain, because it's about getting really, really clear. And you need to do that healing work. You know, there's times that you're in a single cycle, and yeah, sometimes that's a long time, but it could be due to your own belief system or way of thinking. And then there's times that, you know, a relationship can heal you, and then there's times a relationship wounds you and opens you and breaks you, to heal in a different way, like an abscess, and burst that abscess, and yes, you get that shitty, horrible, pussy stuff come up, but you know, it does heal after a while. I suppose it just depends how that's going to play out. But yeah, so there's some form of betrayal, but with betrayal, the betrayal always starts with ourselves. Something you're not wanting to look at, you know, too scared to look at. This person's too scared to look behind them, which represents the past. And to face something head on. And like they say, it's not always as bad as you think it is. The mind can play tricks and bring fear up and make things feel much, much worse than what they are, especially around night time. But there is some sort of hurt or betrayal, or thinking about the past and being being locked down about the past and what happened in the past, and not being able to be present in the here and now can cause, you know, stop you from moving forward. And like I said, even if something was good and you can see the facts that maybe somebody's changed and you know, has done some work on themselves, but you're locked in, you're locked into the past and what happened. So for some, maybe some people are coming back in because it will be, something needs to come to light so that there's some form of closure. But you know, there is some light there, because we've got the star, which is the most healing card you can get, right next to the 3 of Swords. So, you know, because sometimes, like I say, your mind plays tricks, and you're coming too much from the mind, and then that can cause the heartbreak. So you know, it's about dropping down into the heart and really feeling what, you know, or allowing yourself to have, you know, it said about punishment in the book, about punishment. And that can go back to guilt. If you're feeling guilty about something that you've done in the past, and then you like self-punish yourself, and then don't allow yourself to have happiness because of what happened in the past. Again, it's the past, and it's affecting you. And you know, you've either got to work on it and let it go. Don't let the past, that could represent the past, don't let the past have that power over you anymore. You know, don't let it ruin something that might be good, is what I think they're saying, that then causes that heartbreak. Get out of the mind and come into the body. You know, the Taurus energy is all about grounding and stability, but this is very much a healing card. And you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's hope, and of course that can come from the new moon. And then for some of you, that's what you'd be experiencing if you were in relationships, etc. And then for ones that are single and maybe people are coming back, then you know that there's that to deal with. There's something that needs to be dealt with, and you know, Saturn's still going to be bringing things to the light, and things that need to be looked at and healed before moving forward can take place. But very much a fresh start. You know, this is hope. It's hope, it's a fresh start, it's a new beginning, and it's very much there in the future. So that's a lovely card to see. And major changes, you know, you've got major arcana cards either side of this 3 of Swords. So it feels like it's saying don't allow your past to affect your future. You know, and that Justice card was all about looking at the facts and to balance things out. And you know, but yeah, so this is very much about movement. This fresh start then brings in this fast moving pace energy, and this is all about being in charge. You know, don't allow yourself to be pulled in 2 different directions, or you know, this can represent the past too. So but it can be the energies coming in for some. So but you know, it's like, don't be torn in 2 different directions because of the past. This is about taking charge. This is about being ambitious, whether that's in a relationship or your career or whatever it is. So yeah, very much in charge. 7, being on the right path, that Cancerian energy around family and what you're wanting. That energy comes in, major arcana. Oh, and then I'm sure this one came up in the last reading, the Knight of Coins. He is definitely the Taurus energy, and he's the only word I can think of is like steadfastness. It's like keep going, just keep doing what you're doing, keep going on, just you know, because he's very industrious. He's very much the plodder, as I call him, and the character himself he's under Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, like the earth signs, but he gets things done. He's your like everyday sort of chappy. He works with his hands. He's like your plumbers, your electricians, your builders, you know, they're the ones that, your carpenters, they're the ones that use their hands in a practical way that produces, so whether that's you, that you need to do that, whether masculine or feminine, this is who you need to be, or this is the archetypal energy that you need to draw upon. He's not the king. He has not reached his riches yet. He doesn't have that wealth, but he probably more than likely has a wealth of knowledge, that sort of thing, but he's not the king. You know, he's been educated as in learned profession, and that profession has served him well, and in the physical, mundane, every day-to-day life sort of way. So, or it could be a character that's important because he's at the heart of the matter. He's on a horse and they're on horses too. So let's see what else. But he is also to do with this heart situation, this form of rejection or betrayal, whether it's you doing it to them or them doing it to you, male or female, same-sex couples, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just the energy and who you first think of as to who that is for you. But we do, a major arcana again, we do have, so there are major changes around this full moon because it's about stability and grounding. And the High Priestess is in reverse. Now, she's all-knowing upright. You know, she's not doubting herself. She knows secrets that others don't know, maybe to do with that. But in reverse, she's not trusting herself. She's doubting herself because of experiences from her past. Or that's someone that might be giving advice. Remember I said about advice and a guru or a spiritual leader or something like that, or maybe, you know, that might be somebody that you know, masculine or feminine, that acts like somebody, a know-it-all, or you know, thinks they know things and they don't. So that would then be bad advice. And maybe the healing is about trusting yourself around this fresh start, this new beginning. It will be different for everybody. And we've got the world in. This literally is surrounded with major arcana. So the universe is having its say. I do feel, I don't know what the other planets are doing at the moment, but I do feel, because this very much represents astrological planets, this is to do with Saturn. There's something to do with Saturn, and maybe Venus. Venus is showing herself as well, but this is about a new world opening up, and but this is also about knowledge, and in reverse it's about that new world not opening up. The question is to why didn't it open up? Maybe in the past, because of not taking charge of your life, of leaving too much things to fate, and maybe the trickster was about, and maybe leaving too much fate, and not taking enough responsibility, because the Knight of Pentacles is very much about responsibility, and he is at the heart of the matter. So it could be that, but this is Saturn also, and this is about time. It could also mean about timing, that, you know, no matter what you tried, things were not going to change anyway, because the world is in reverse, and that's like Saturn. It will be in Saturn's timing and the universe's timing, and that's it. You have no power there, because sometimes it's about recognizing where you have power and where you don't, because of the shadow work, and looking at you know, being present, because we live in such a fast-paced world, and to have time to sit down, and, you know, we use other things as distractions rather than looking at reflecting, quiet time, and then sometimes you're forced into a position to look at something. But because this is about harvest time, about something, you know, fruition, something coming to fruition. And, you know, I only ever see the 3 coins lit up, which is about the collaboration, teamwork, but he's on his own there. But the 4 is in the shadow part of you've got your sun coming through here, and these are being reflected. But the 4, where it's, you know, holding on to something. But this can be rewards coming. So I think because of that's next to it, I think maybe that's to do with Saturn, and rewards are coming. It's been very slow. I think it's to do with Saturn. It's been very slow because of him there, around, maybe because of the Libra and the Justice card, about justice, and Saturn trying to work things and shape things up for those that you have, you know, done the work, and waiting for the rewards, for something tangible and nourishing. You know, with a relationship, you want something that's nourishing. You want the full meal, and that's got a lot of nourishment in it, as in a relationship. You're waiting for that full meal that contains everything that you need to be nourished. You don't want that packet of crisp relationship that, you know, you eat it, you throw it away sort of thing. You're wanting that deep soul connection, and I know that new moon was definitely around that as well. So around that new moon, people might be coming in, but, you know, this is like I was saying about something needs bursting, because this is about having to make a decision, and underneath the High Priestess in reverse, it's not wanting to look at something. So you can know something but keep yourself distracted and not want to look at it, because, you know, it's going to be too painful because of what you've already experienced in the past, and of course most people have. But it's a periquest, you know. You need to experience what it feels like, and I think more and more people have experienced what it feels like to have been cheated on, and then what it feels like to be the cheater. You know, I think a lot of people have been going through that, and not cheating, let's say more of a betrayal of oneself in many ways. So because then you get to true love, you know, you're having that education and gaining the knowledge, and then you gain the wisdom, so things aren't repeated for yourself. But something in the future, because it can represent the future. So there's healing for the High Priestess, she's needing to make a decision, about something. Let's see what's going on underneath. Oh my goodness, it goes so quick, doesn't it? Right, we had the 5 of Wands last time. I think it was in reverse, I can't remember. But we've got the swords. So we've got the swords coming up in this reading. And it's very much the coins, I think, last time. Because this is like a bit of humility, humiliation, feeling a bit embarrassed and red-faced about something, and feeling doubtful, like I said, the mind again, around the situation. And this card, I pull this card because it comes from underneath. I pull it because it's representing the subconscious. So this card can sometimes be a shock to see, especially in personal readings, because it's like, what do you mean about that? And well, it's subconscious, it's unknown to you. So, you know, if you're going walking around with blinders on, you're not going to know, you're not going to notice it. So this is about feeling embarrassed or humiliated or doubting something, either yourself or someone else, is what that is. And you might be saying, no, that's not true, I don't. So let's have a look, see what's going on. Right, well, we've got the Clover card, because this is like, it's a bit like the Midas touch, but it's a bit like something rare. So maybe something rare or something good's going to come out of a situation, which what people might class as lucky, which reminds me of the, I keep saying the same story, but reminds me of the farmer and his son's story. You know, good luck, bad luck. It's how you perceive something. But there is some sort of, this is like, put your worries away. And I was saying that about your past, not let your past affect your future. Put your worries away. You know, things aren't as bad as you think they are, is what they're saying, I think, with that card. Let's see what's at the heart of the matter. Because that's like, your road's in the hands of the gods, and you'll know which energy you're coming from. Oh, he came up in the last one, bang in the centre as well, you know. So, oh my goodness. So this is definitely representing the masculine energy. Like I said, he is the plodder. He may come forward, he may be a bit shy. People might class him as a bit boring because he's steadfast and that sort of thing. So whether you've yet to meet this person if you're single, or whether you know this person, or whether it's you, you know, whether it represents you, but it's shown up as the masculine energy. So but this is a good person, steadfast, and he's bringing luck. But let's have a look what the other cards are saying. Because there was a benefactor in the last one. Now, that could be anything. Like I said, it could be you, or whether it's, oh, well, that's definitely to do with a relationship. You know, definitely either a broken relationship, but it's in the here and now around this full moon, or something to do with some sort form of betrayal. And it could work either way, because trying to read for so many people, but you know, trust yourself. But yeah, that could even be a broken engagement, a wedding ring, so a broken heart that way. But it is next to these, and these are very positive. And that's your, so that is a destined relationship. So it could be the other person is her. I did pull my cards, which I haven't shown yet, because they're not ready completely. And it was saying that the feminine around this full moon is the doubting one, and then there you go, the High Priestess comes up. it's the feminine that's in the doubting mode. It seems the masculine came up with quite a high number, and it's definitely worked on some of their stuff from the past. So take that as you want to, but they came up as more self-esteem, more self-worth, knowing who they were. Probably that's why he's coming up as steadfast, and the High Priestess is more in reverse. But this is, you know, this is your destiny, this is your future. Fresh start is your destiny. A fresh start, hope, new beginnings is your destiny. Now this came up in the same place, but like I said, I don't know, because this can be somebody acting mysteriously, and it's not always in a negative way. It depends how you view something and your life experiences and what's going on. But this is somebody acting in a mysterious way. It does give a warning because it's a fox next to this. I mean, and this is about, remember, about not having somebody, letting somebody have power over you, control over you. And this is about work. This is very much about a professional. So for those of you that are high priestesses, maybe there's something around that, but it's because this is about healing also, and destiny is to heal. It'll mean different for different people, but that could also represent somebody on a professional level. Remember, we're going back to a counsellor, a guru, somebody that gives good advice, maybe needing to seek that, because that's professional for those that maybe are in the healing arts doing the healing work. We've got the full moon there, and that's good fortune, you see. So there is a delay on the good fortune due to somebody else, due to the universe. But that way it's good fortune, good luck. But then we've got that there. But I think these positive cards override this. So somebody might be acting mysteriously, you know, somebody could be doing a surprise party, and then you're like humiliated, embarrassed, because maybe you thought they were cheating on you or something. I don't know, I'm just trying to give an example here. But you know, it doesn't always have to be bad, and the cards around this gentleman, the masculine energy, is very good. But there is some news, there's some news, or it could be travel. Remember, the world is about travel. Maybe travel that had to be postponed, because the Chariot is also about travel. So it can be like something really, really deep and mysterious, and could be betrayal in that sense, so that can hurt. But then it can also be a lighter version, depending on where you are in your situation and people. But this is very much about a journey, news coming, maybe from the past, but does bring good fortune, good ideas. You know, that could be a hold on ideas. Sometimes I do myself. I think, you know, where's these ideas? Why is it not coming through? So, but there's a change needing. There's a change needed. So that could be to do with your businesses. Could be to do with that. To do with destiny. You know, that's like your soul contract. That's like destiny. There's a change needing to bring about. Okay, let's see what's going on underneath. Well, there you go. The hearts come up. So it's to do with love, to do with relationships. So for some, there's some form of embarrassment or humiliation or doubt, or, you know, those nagging doubts or something. Like I said, it'll be different for everybody. But let's get a few clarifying cards. On the masculine, heart of the matter, may we have, what's the most important message, please? Right, so this is the 10 of coins in reverse, 10 of pentacles. That's all about you know, security, the Taurian, security, safety, stability, but there isn't around this. Like I said, he's not the king, it's the knight. So something to do with family, inheritance. So for some, that could mean, you know, there can be betrayal and heartbreak to do with, oh, somebody just pressed my bell, now it's distracting me. That can be like inheritance and, or property or legacies passing down. So there's something around that. And that's the Lovers card, so to do with the lovers, to do with a choice. You know, this card comes up with a choice, so whether it's a choice between a relationship and because this card comes up when there's a major decision or choice to be made. Because this is about things happening quickly. The ones is about messages, something going back and forth. Again, travel. So we've got like 3 things to do with travel, because this is about in the air. I'm going to go mad in a minute. I'm literally doing a reading and they're just pressing their bell on. Right, we've got the builders out there, that's fine. So yeah, this is delayed messages. So that could be like not hearing from somebody around this chappie here. But let's have a look, see what the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords are about restrictions. Let's see what the 5 of Swords wants to say, because that's the unconscious. We've got the Justice card come up. So there's something around that new moon in Libra about balance, justice, the truth. Because remember, that's like finding the balance, finding harmony. Yeah, because we've got 7 of Swords, which is somebody being sneaky, mysterious, or finding solutions, but he tends to come up as a bit of a crafty character. Like I said, it's more about that your past stuff and childhood survival coping mechanisms. I see that card as, but it doesn't work in your adult relationships. And then you've got the 8, so you've got the 7, you've got the 8, and that's like being the victim in reverse, the 8 of Swords, you know, because she's not freeing herself. So that might be linked to the High Priestess. That's like waiting to be rescued, your knight in shining armor. Well, you know, that's not going to happen. You're just going to attract that sort of person, and that's definitely like being a victim and thinking that you've got no options really when there is a solution. So let's see what we might not be seeing. Let's see what's hidden and what we might not be seeing around this full moon. So what might we not be seeing? These are new to me, so I go more with my intuition. Okay, so what we might not be seeing around this full moon is the Yang card. It's the masculine card, and it's about action. It's the number 1. It comes under like the Magician. It's about action. It's about having to take action. And in the relationship part, it's about, you know, because this could represent you, like the Knight, a bit nervous to come forward. So even if you're feminine, you know, with this card, you can act, you can ask that person out. It doesn't have to be this rules and roles that society is projected on the feminine and the masculine, you can ask someone out. This card is like giving you permission to make the first move then, because like I said, there could be somebody shy, and then he appears to be acting mysteriously, but yeah, to take charge, because it's about taking charge. So very much this card. Blocks being removed, so blocks being removed where business is concerned around this full moon, whether you have to take action to remove them, but that's what we might not be seeing. So we might not be seeing that, like I said, about giving your power away to the universe too much, and concerning your destiny, giving your power away to fate too much instead of taking charge of your life, your situation. It could be that, and then you're not seeing that you need to take action where your love life's concerned, where you know your businesses or your work life's also. This is all about the yang energy, which is about action, very masculine energy. So that's what we might not be seeing around that time. Let's see what the romance angels want to say. And I literally did have somebody pressing my bell, the builders. That might be a message for me. Somebody's going to be ringing my bell. As in, they might be calling me. But anyway. Okay, romance angels. What's the most important message we need to know around this full moon? Finance and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So there's something about this High Priestess, because that's definitely around for those of you that, because I'm having to look at other ways of doing things, like apps and that to do readings. But anyway, so that could be to do with that, because it's saying finances and career are a factor in your love life right now. For some of you, it could be that you're workaholics, you're not paying enough attention to your partner or the relationship, you're not trusting your intuition. Or it could be for others of you that you need to find something that you know, works for you. But either way, your finances and your career are an issue concerning your love lives right now. If you want to ask, pause your video and ask your question the best you can, and they will they'll answer the best they can. Most important message. The situation will improve. That's a lovely card. So it's saying this situation around finances and career, I think that's affecting, you know, the love lives, because that's very much the yang energy. It is going to improve, but I just want to read what they're saying with that. Situation will improve. 76. Your angels want you to know that they are aware that things look difficult right now. However, the situation is going to improve. It may take some time, and there will most likely to be some hard work ahead of you, which I think that's why that came up, but it's like being supported. But the effort you put forth will be worth it, and things are going to get better. Now is not the time to give up on wounded friendships or ailing relationships. There is still hope for the future. Take heart and continue to work towards a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future. So that might be an answer to your question. So what's the time? 54. Let's just quickly see what these lovely angels want to say from heaven. Some spiritual advice. Serenity. So you need to make peace your major priority. So you've got to find serenity, no matter what's going on, no matter what the circumstances for you. And I think in Colette's thing, the serenity prayer is very much there to be said. So you know, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think is very much apt in this situation. Is similar to saying, you know, where you have power and where you don't have power, knowing where you can act, and where you can't. What's up to the universe and what's up to you. So more on a physical level, the Earth Angels. Oh, music again. So music's come up again. So music will uplift you, or for some of you, that you could be a songwriter or play music or something. So music might be very important to you, or it could be that you have messages come through the music. And that's come up twice now. So it'll either uplift you, give you messages, or, you know, if you are a creative person. Right, most important message to end with is look to your inner strength. So number 11, which is a master's number. So you've got to dig deep by the signs of it. Look, you are stronger than you realise, and some days, yeah, I feel the same. I don't feel strong. The angels are asking you to dig deep inside of your inner self. The strength is in you, though it may not feel like it right now. You will be able to push through this. Believe in yourself and know that you have the power within you. And I think maybe that's a strong message, whether that's to do with love or your businesses or finances. I think that's definitely a message for me. I try not to project, but obviously, you know, things happen, doesn't it? So anyway, we attract those who are on a similar path. There we go. I hope that helps you around this full moon. And please like, share and subscribe. It's your gift back to me. And I don't think for some reason that my website's there, but you can get to me, I think, through the about button. And if you look under Gift of the Broken Heart, my name will come up under there and lead you to my website anyway. So I hope that helps. I'm sending you lots of love. Let's keep positive. Let's remain hopeful. I know sometimes it's really, really hard with what's going on in the world, let alone what's going on in your own lives. But, you know, it takes a strong heart to follow your, it takes a strong head to follow your heart. There we go. Okay, sending you lots of love. Namaste. I'll be back here for the new moon reading. Lots of love.